Welcome back, all you football fans, to another edition of the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. This edition will be going over a Week 3 preview, as Thursday Night Football is happening right now, and we might be able to get a chance to recap that, as it should end during our episode. With me, as always, in studio is Brad the Dad and Josh the Boss. And now let's get into our Week 3 previews, as we're going to be covering all these matchups, all these news and notes, reports and rumors, who's starting, who to bench, who's a flex, who's going to help you win your Week 3 matchup. Josh, who's going to help you win your Week 3 matchup?
It's not going to be Quincy Enunwa.
There's still time.
But it could be Carlos Hyde.
Well,
Yeah, you did call that. For all you listeners.
He probably fumbled the ball 6 times and just throw this in the pooper for me.
I just want to say,
Not realistic.
We tweeted out, could it be Baker time, on the Empty Wagon Twitter account. And we were right, guys.
And by we mean you. You might as well take credit for this, Josh.
I didn't want to do that. I don't want to be selfish. I thought it'd be nice to just say we.
Yeah.
Well, you did call it, Josh, but Hugh Jackson's still the head coach, and like you said, pre-show,
He's bad.
Well, you said, he has one more NFL win than I do, so.
Yeah, so you can't tell him what to do.
Right, exactly. He's just clearly deserving of the job.
Yeah, so don't ever disrespect Hugh Jackson.
You can't say that with a straight face.
Yeah, because that's a staple of the show.
He might get another one tonight on accident, because Baker Mayfield comes into the game because Tyrod got hurt.
No, the Jets are driving, and Tyrod will probably clear concussion protocol or not, but Hugh Jackson will get out there.
How mad are the Browns fans going to be when they see Taylor back on the field?
I just hope it comes down to a field goal.
The thing is...
I hope not, because that kicker looks bad.
He's made them.
At this point in the game, Baker is 11 for 15 for 141 yards. Tyrod threw 4 out of 14 for 19 yards. You know who's going to be the starter next week, gentlemen?
Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor.
If his head's right.
Tyrod Taylor. Hey, Quincy just got a catch. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, let's kick these Week 3 previews off, unless you guys have anything to add.
Nah, let's jump into it.
All right, awesome. I'll kick it off real quick with a game that shouldn't take me long at all to cover.
Yeah, let's get to it then.
All right. It's the Bills at the Vikings, okay?
Shootout.
That's exactly who I'm excited about for the Bills, is the Crickets. LaShawn McCoy is questionable with those off-field issues. We don't really know what's happening with him yet, but if he is starting, he still is not appealing, and which kind of sucks to say because you probably used a relatively high draft pick on him.
3rd round.
Yeah, exactly. So, but other than that, there's no one else on the Bills I want to talk about, or you should start. Vikings, start them all. Everyone. Every single one. Start Pat Shermer.
Well, even...
Oh, he's on the Giants now.
Even Latavius Murray.
Yes, and I'm going to talk about that.
Okay.
Because the Vikings are going to win this game, right? Now, I know we've had some early upsets in the season, but 1, Dalvin Cook hasn't looked great. 2, they're going to want to rest Dalvin Cook so he doesn't get injured, because right now he's questionable on the injury report. I still think he's going to play. But Latavius Murray will get catches, especially if they're trying to milk clock. So, yeah, throw Latavius Murray in a flex. And if you're really kind of not so deep on running backs, could put him in a running back spot. And, yeah, obviously you're starting Diggs, Thielen, Rudolph, Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins, their defense especially. Even Laquan Treadwell might even get some action in this game.
Oh, I can't wait to play my wife this week. I got the Vikings defense. Glorious.
Yeah, they're going to get you like 30 points.
It's gonna be
I really
glorious.
hope Laquan Treadwell doesn't get it, because he got a touchdown last week, and fantasy numbers probably look good, but he is bad.
No, he's not that bad.
He's bad.
You know these previews are spelunking with Pat, so there's my spelunking for this game.
All right.
That's all I got to say about the Bills and Vikings. Start all the Vikings. Don't start the Bills.
What about Shady? You think Shady's going to play?
I think he'll play. It doesn't mean there's got to be someone else on your bench that you at least have more upside about.
Maybe, maybe not, depending on when you took Shady. But okay.
Who cares?
Pretty much. All right, Josh, you want to kick off with the Saints at Falcons?
Yes, absolutely. So,
Big NFC South match.
Big NFC South match. So, obviously, you're going to start Drew Brees here. They're playing the Falcons. Their two best defensive players are out for the season. Alvin Kamara, you're only going to start him basically because he's getting all those receiving yards. He's actually doing very poorly as a running back. But you're going to start him anyway. No, it's fair. Michael Thomas, duh. I'm not really interested in starting any of the other wide receivers. Ted Ginn. They said that Cameron Meredith might play this week. Who cares? I'm not touching either one of the tight ends this week. I do like Benjamin Watson a little bit better than Austin Hooper. But, I mean, you're throwing a dart, basically. Now, Matt Ryan. What do you do with Matt Ryan? He has a down week, he has an up week, he's a down week, he's an up week. I'm saying start Matt Ryan this week. The Saints defense appeared to have been fool's gold from last year. They have not been good. Tampa lit them up. Even Cleveland looked all right.
Saints never start hot.
Well, they got to get better.
Is that wrong?
No. Tevin Coleman is going to be great this week, other than scoring touchdowns. So if you're looking for that, you might not want to start him because apparently they don't like to give him the ball. Julio Jones, you're going to start him. So Calvin Ridley is a guy that I'm a little interested in because he's a great route runner. He had a pretty decent game last week. He kind of, for a rookie, but a lot of people are like, is this finally when it happens? I'm saying, whoa, Nelly. Okay? Whoa. Now is not the time to start Calvin Ridley. Wait till we see some more out of him, okay? If he has a breakout game, I'll tell you myself that I'm sorry. But for now, chill out. You're not going to start Mohamed Sanu or Hooper. Neither one of these defenses are any good. Stay away from them. That's pretty much it for this game. You guys got anything you like to add?
So you're staying away from the defenses. You're pretty much staying away from a lot of people in this matchup.
It's not a great matchup for a lot of people. I mean, do you really expect Ted Ginn to have a great game?
No.
What about Mohamed Sanu? Yeah.
I like him better, or not. Sorry. I like Calvin Ridley better than I like Sanu.
I do too, but right now we don't know what we have in Calvin Ridley.
You're not even going to throw in some risk and maybe put him in a flex?
Personally, I wouldn't. I feel like if Calvin Ridley, you drafted him so late where you probably have better, safer options for your flex.
All right. Playing it safe in week 3 with Josh.
Yeah.
All right, Brad, you ready for your matchup, which I'm excited to hear about, and I know you're excited to do. It's the 49ers at the Chiefs.
Yeah, so let's just get this fired up right now, right? We got Jimmy G. Hopefully Goodwin's back. So Jimmy G, I like starting him this week. I think he's a great streaming option at quarterback. That Chiefs defense has not looked good. Eric Berry's probably still going to be out. They have not been able to stop anybody. I think you can start Jimmy G. I really hope Goodwin's healthy and back because I think this could be a week where he breaks out. I don't think he got a lot of opportunities week 1, got hurt early, and just nothing ever came of it. Missed week 2. Pierre Garçon, I mean, if you got to flex him, you got to flex him. I'm not liking it, but it is what it is.
Would you rather flex him or Dante Pettis?
Garçon.
If Goodwin is healthy, Garçon. If Goodwin's not healthy, Pettis. Pettis has the higher ceiling.
Way higher. It's above the roof.
I feel like Goodwin will be back this week.
The ceiling is the roof, as Michael Jordan would say.
It's not the truth.
All right, back to the game.
It's an actual quote.
But it's not the truth, though.
But, so...
There's a roof above a ceiling.
All right, so George Kittle. I think you can start George Kittle this week. And then let's just roll on to Kansas City. Well, let's talk about the running backs in the 49ers, right?
Ugh.
The NFL rushing leader on the 49ers.
Matt Breida, averaging 8 yards a carry.
You don't like him?
Oh, I love him this week.
Oh, okay.
I think he's a great option this week.
Oh, you kind of introduced it like, don't start him. Okay.
Dubstep?
And so you like...
I like him over Alfred Morris.
Okay. Would you start Alfred Morris?
I would not start Alfred Morris.
Okay.
I think this is going to be a high-paced, fast-scoring game where they're going to be both teams will be throwing the ball around a lot.
Well, you have to if you're going to keep up with Mahomes.
I got a question for you. Alfred Morris or Derrick Henry?
Derrick Henry.
Okay.
That's an inside joke. People that are in the league with this will understand this.
Yeah, Rob was very upset about that. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, so let's just jump over to the Chiefs, unless there's anybody else on the 49ers you think we need to talk about, but I really don't think so. Really big question is Goodwin. He was back at practice today, so hopefully he's good to go. Patrick Mahomes, you have to start him, right? After the first 2 weeks of the season, you have to start him.
He's so hot.
10 touchdowns. You start him.
So you starting him over Andrew Luck, Carson Wentz?
Yes.
Yeah.
What about over Ryan Fitzmagic?
Yes.
I mean, we're getting to that matchup a little later, but something to think about. We'll come back when we'll cross that bridge when we get there. All right, then Tyreek Hill, he's a go. I think you can start Sammy Watkins this week. That 49ers defense has kind of been up and down, but this Chief offense is so explosive that I think the 49ers, if they are going to try to stop a wide receiver, it's going to be Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Sammy Watkins, we can see him do kind of what he did last week and get some of those receptions and reception yards. Then Kareem Hunt, right? Kind of a disappointment this year so far. He's not been using the passing game at all. He's been pretty unproductive on the ground. So Kareem Hunt, I'm starting him this week, but he's a first round pick. You probably drafted in the first round. He's a guy I'm watching really hard, especially in this game against the 49ers defense that I'm not so scared of. They're a middle of the pack defense the way I see it right now. As of right now. Maybe in a week or two, I'll eat those words.
Eat them.
Yeah. And then Travis Kelce, we all know what to do there.
Duh.
Yeah, Kelsey's definitely a must start.
Anybody else you guys want to add here? I think it's going to be a high scoring game.
I was going to say, how many touchdowns from Mahomes this week?
2.
2?
I said 3. 3.
I think Kareem Hunt falls in the end zone a couple times, which steals a little bit of his work. The over-under for this game is 55.5 points.
Seems high.
Yeah, it's a little high, considering the game tonight had an over-under of 38.
Both of those defenses are bad. That's why.
And Mahomes throws it all over the field.
Not really. He doesn't need to. He's like throwing a touchdown pass like every 4 attempts or something like that.
It's actually the highest over-under of the week, by the way. In case you guys are wondering, for all my bettors out there.
Makes sense.
I'd be taking the over in this game.
Yeah, I agree.
If Jimmy G can hold up.
Oh, he'll hold up.
Baby man.
He'll put on the show.
All right.
All right, Raiders at Dolphins, the next game we want to cover.
No one cares. Next game.
Actually, this is kind of an intriguing game, and I'll tell you why.
Right.
Jordy?
No.
It's not.
Jordy's actually on my non-start
Didn't
list.
you just cut Jordy in one league?
Moving on. Marshawn Lynch and Jordy Nelson are questionable in this game. But you have the 0-2 Raiders and the 2-0 Dolphins. So the Dolphins are favored in this game for some reason. You look at these schedules, though. The Raiders lost to the Rams. Rams pretty good, and they almost beat Denver in Denver. The Dolphins beat Tennessee at home and at New York Jets by only 8 points. Raiders aren't as bad as they seem on paper by their record. Go ahead, Brad.
No, I kind of agree with that statement.
Okay.
Kind of.
Here's who to start. Here's who not to start. Stay away from both quarterbacks. Don't really like Derek Carr. Don't really like Tannehill. Stay away from Frank Gore from Miami. Stay away from Jordy Nelson, which most of the fantasy football world probably has. And continue to do that. Here's what I'd like to start in this week. For the Raiders, you're going to start Amari Cooper. You're going to start Marshawn Lynch. And then Jared Cook and Richardson.
You're saying start Richardson.
He's a deeper league flex option.
So this is spelunking again with Pat?
It's always spelunking when we do week previews. You know that.
All right.
The reason being is Cook and Richardson are checkdowns. Marshawn Lynch, that's been clear that Gruden and that Oakland offense wants to use him.
Do you mean Richard? Jalen Richard?
Yeah, he does.
You said Richardson. I'm like, is Paul Richardson? Anyway, all right.
Oh, that's my next game.
Sorry, go ahead. Richard.
You're right. My bad. Richard. Jalen Richard.
The shark.
You didn't sound right. Yeah, I suck. Miami, 3. Kenyon Drake, Kenny Stills. Pretty obvious and been pretty good performers the first 2 weeks. And guess who's back this week?
Devontae Parker.
Devontae Parker.
Who was healthy last week.
No, he was not.
He was a healthy scratch.
Well, he wasn't healthy because he didn't feel ready to come back because his finger wasn't feeling
He
good.
didn't feel good.
He didn't feel good. Well, he's feeling good now, and he's coming back. I think this is going to be a higher scoring game than people are estimating it to be. And that's my preview for that game. Those are your starters. Don't start either defense. Miami's defense might kind of a sleeper pick if you need to stream a defense. But if you need to stream a quarterback, there's other streaming quarterbacks out there. Don't go after either one of these.
Yeah. Are you worried at all about Tannehill missing the game? Because he was on the injury report with a knee and a foot, I think it was.
No, I'd be fine. Who cares?
I mean, he is a player that was walking on the sidelines last year and blew out his ACL.
I didn't read any of that in my my injury report to this game. So if he was early in the week, he's feeling better now.
Okay.
They must have updated him to probable.
The one thing I would say about this game, it is a East Coast game, an early East Coast game, and West Coast teams going to the East Coast, usually the offenses don't do great there.
Which is why those Dolphins defense, kind of a sleeper pick for
It
defense.
is. And I think you could probably, Kenyon Drake, you might, if you want to really go spelunking even deep in the Pat likes to go, Frank Gore probably will get some work because I see the Dolphins going 3-0. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do too, actually.
And leading the East?
Moving on.
Whatever. Yeah.
Anyway, you got to have a better option than Frank Gore. I really hope you do. Jalen Richard, better option. All right, and that's my recap for the Raiders at Dolphins. Now we're going to move over to Brad. Brad, what's your next game you want to do?
You want Brad or Josh? You say Brad, you point at Josh. It really throws me off.
Yep, you guys know what I mean. Josh, what's your next game?
Andy, so we got the Bengals and the Panthers. And a lot of people are iffy on Andy Dalton. I'm going to say you need to keep riding that red rifle, that hot hand. Start Andy Dalton. That's right. Start him. Okay. He's been hot so far. The yardage isn't great, but the touchdowns are there. And with Joe Mixon out, they lost their goal line back. Giovanni Bernard is still there. Giovanni Bernard, if he gets a touchdown, it's going to be because Andy Dalton threw it to him. You got to go with the red rifle. Start him up. Giovanni Bernard, like I said, Joe Mixon isn't there. You got to start Giovanni Bernard as well. AJ Green, duh.
Are you literally pounding the table for these players right now?
Yeah, I'm
is.
beating the drum. All right, so what about these tight ends, though? So they got two Tylers and a CJ. Tyler Eifert, I think I want to say is droppable now.
Yes.
And since he said that, everybody, he's going to have 3 touchdowns in this game.
Of course, because that's the way the world works. But if you're going to start...
You called the Baker
If you're going
Mayfield
to start
start.
one of the Tylers, it's going to be Boyd. Okay. Everybody go with that?
I like Tyler Boyd. I think he had a great game, a little coming out party. He's way better than John Ross.
The unfortunate part of that is I think if you're listening to this, he's probably already picked up now in your leagues.
Yeah, you're not going to start Tyler Kroft or Tyler Eifert. Stay away from those guys, and I don't want anything to do with the defense. Cam Newton, love him. Love Cam Newton. You know why? Because he's not a great NFL quarterback, but he is a great fantasy quarterback because he gets them yards with his legs. Christian McCaffrey, you got him. You're going to start him. Duh. Now, the receivers for the Panthers. So we have Jarius Wright, DJ Moore, and Devin Funchess. Which one would you say would be your favorite out of this trio, Brad? Funchess?
For just this week?
Yeah, Funchess, Moore, or Wright?
For just this week, I'm taking Funchess.
I see the issue is I do think he's going to be – he's the most probable pick, right?
Hmm.
I think –
in a PPR format, he is the wide receiver you want there right now. I think DJ Moore has the bigger upside, but they don't give him enough targets.
Can I pick McCaffrey?
Well, McCaffrey's a running back. Of course you're going to start McCaffrey. Honestly, to me, it's between Jarius Wright or Devin Funchess. I don't think DJ Moore is quite there just yet, but if I have to pick one of these guys, I'm going to go with Devin Funchess, and I want to say Devin Funchess is a flex option. Flex option. He does not need to be your wide receiver 1 or 2.
How the tides have changed.
You know, he wasn't great last year. A lot of people think that he was great. He wasn't great. He was all right.
He was serviceable.
He's very Quincy Enunwa-like. Because he's like a wide receiver that plays a tight end role.
Yeah, but he actually was a tight end that plays a wide receiver role.
Wow. That's what I mean. Like, it's the same thing we have with Quincy Enunwa. We all love Quincy Enunwa right now because he's going to get 10 targets. If any receiver out there is going to get 10 targets, it's going to be Devin Funchess.
Exactly. And you thought that, Ian Thomas might come in there and do pretty well, but guess what? He did not. He was like one slice short of a poop sandwich last week. It was gross. You don't need to be going out there and throwing Ian Thomas in your lineup. The Panthers DST, it's going to be good, but I expect this game to be pretty high-scoring affair. I mean, you got to think the Falcons put up 31 on them last week, so I don't expect the Panthers defense to be doing a whole lot of stopping, unless you're an IDP and you want to throw out Luke Kuechly, because it's Luke Kuechly. Anyway, pretty much it for that game. Stay away from those defenses. All right, on to you, Brad.
Just so everybody knows, the Bengals are like matched with a record of the Broncos when they had Peyton Manning of one of the highest scoring teams in the first 2 games of the season.
Boom.
So, yeah, the Red Rocket, right? Ugh.
Stick with him. Got to ride that hot hand.
I'm starting him in one of my leagues.
Thank you, Pat.
So my next game
Don't
is
just go on.
Colts
We're not gonna
at the Eagles.
acknowledge that.
All right, we ready to do this?
Yeah, Colts and Eagles. Let's go.
Yeah.
Colts and
Carson
Eagles.
Wentz back.
Carson Wentz is back, right? We covered it the other day.
Oh, timeout. That was a question I had from you earlier. Sorry to interrupt. Jimmy Garoppolo or Carson Wentz? Who are you starting?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy.
Really?
Yeah.
Jimmy. Yeah.
So the Colts defense is bad, but this is Carson Wentz's first. He hasn't been cleared for contact until this week, and now he's going out to play in a real game.
Well, that's why
My
he's
bigger
good.
question
Sink or
is
swim.
Luck or Wentz this week. Luck hasn't looked amazing yet this season, and this Eagles defense is really good. Colts defense is pretty bad. You starting Wentz over Luck?
Started Luck.
Ooh, come on, Pat. Come
Wentz over Luck.
on. Wentz over Luck. Okay.
Luck.
So you guys are kind of split there. We'll see who wins this.
It's going to be me, duh.
Do not start any Indianapolis running back.
Thank you.
I have no idea what's going on in that backfield.
That's some.
I'm not sure if they know what they're doing in the backfield yet. I think Marlon Mack's still not fully healthy. I think they're trying to ease him back into the system. He is the better running back there, but Nyheim Hines, the passing down guy, got an 8-yard red zone touchdown last week. So who knows?
I agree.
It's frustrating. I have 6 more gray hairs because of this backfield. Have no idea what to do.
They're coming in nice, though.
They are. So let's move on to the Eagles. J.J. might miss the game.
You didn't want to talk about the receivers or tight ends?
Oh, okay. Colts receivers. Start T.Y. I'm not starting Corey Grant.
Ryan Grant.
That
Corey
one.
Grant's a running back.
I know he's in my other notes over down here.
All right, what about
Sorry,
tight
we all
ends?
got one apiece. I used mine.
Ebron
Brad
or
used-
Doyle?
Ebron or Doyle? I'm still going Doyle. He's running more routes. He's getting more targets.
Oh, Doyle.
He just isn't He hasn't fell in the end zone yet. Once he starts falling in the end zone, or Ebron quits falling in the end zone, you're going to see the fantasy points start evening out.
I like how you just say falling in the end zone like it's just an accident.
Yeah, it is.
No, you. Okay.
J.J. is, or not J.J., but LeGarrette Blount's made a career out of that, falling in the end zone. He won a Super Bowl with the Patriots falling in the end zone.
Sure did.
Then he won another one the very next year.
What else you got for this game?
Okay. So, Eagles. We already talked about Carson Wentz. If J.J. misses,
Corey
and
Clement.
Darren Sproles is probably going to miss Corey Clement anyway because Darren Sproles is going to be out. But now you add in J.J. is gone. So we got Wendell Smallwood. Not worried about him taking any role. Corey Clement's going to get most of the work. He had 15 points in fantasy last week with J.J. still getting a touchdown. I think Corey
Fire him
Clement
up.
is a great play this week. If you picked him up on waivers and you have him, I'm putting him in my RB2 slot.
Ooh.
Even maybe my RB2, at least your flex.
Ooh. No, I agree. I like Corey coming a lot this week.
I think it's a great matchup for him. Great. Everybody's like, well, Indy stopped the Redskins last week. Okay. They stopped a 45-year-old man in the backfield.
They didn't
Ooh.
stop Thompson from catching him.
Exactly, and that's what Corey Clement does. All right, let's talk about these Eagles wide receivers.
Eagles fly.
They just signed Jordan Matthews.
They have receivers?
And no, hey,
They have another one. They signed Jordan Matthews. And we got Nelson Aguilar, who hasn't looked pretty fantasy relevant this year. I think we might be seeing as a little bit of breakout for
erroneous.
What do you mean?
He's been a good flex play.
A good flex play, yes.
Yeah.
8 for 88
Exactly.
and a touchdown is pretty good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's been a really good play this week. But here's my problem with him.
I thought you said he hasn't been.
No, he has. He has been. Let me enunciate.
He said hasn't.
Okay, I meant to say has been a great play.
He's actually sober, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's the problem.
It is.
He's totally drunk.
Jordan Matthews is a slot receiver. He's a really tall, really big slot receiver.
Like a tight end.
Nelson
can't find a
Aguilar.
team.
Nelson Aguilar's best work so far this season has came in where? You guys want to take a guess?
You love talking about slot receivers, so I'm going to guess slot.
The slot.
I think it's
So
time
now
for
if
the
Jordan
ding, ding,
Matthews
ding.
is taking the slot work away from Nelson Aguilar, I think it's going to hurt him. I don't think he's an outside guy. I think that he performs way better in the slot, so I think the Jordan Matthews thing is actually going to knock a little bit of that shine off Nelson Aguilar this week.
Do you really think Jordan Matthews is going to get that much of a workload?
No, but I think he'll get, wait for it, 7 targets, 4 catches for 40 yards, and you don't want to start him.
4 for 40.
But what he does is now Nelson Aguilar, instead of getting 10 targets, gets 4 targets because he's on the outside, and Carson Wentz is on a half a knee back there.
Yeah, 1.5.
I think they waited this long to bring back Carson Wentz. I think he's healthy.
I can't believe Cleveland's going to win a game.
Is he really? What's the score?
It's 21-17. We're already behind the 2-minute warning. And the Jets are going backwards.
Hugh Jackson,
So,
MVP.
My thing with this is I don't want to start Jordan Matthews this week, and I don't want to start Nelson Aguilar. We'll get back to that. Do you guys disagree with me? Obviously, I think, Pat, you disagree with me.
Just because I've had Nelson Aguilar the past 2 weeks, it's not that I disagree with you. I just maybe as a Nelson Aguilar owner, I don't want to believe it.
Yeah.
But your logic is sound.
And Jordan Matthews knows the system. It isn't like he's coming to a new system.
But it's a different quarterback too. I know you don't think he's fully healthy. I know you think he's on half a leg or whatever back there. It's still Carson Wentz. It's still the MVP of last year if he stayed healthy. And I'm a Tom Brady fan, so I'm saying that pretty unbiasedly that Carson Wentz would have got the MVP had he stayed healthy.
We'll see. We shall see.
And you're obviously starting Ertz and all the other guys.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even going to talk about Ertz. You start the Eagles defense because you know what Andy Luck does?
Those and picks.
Those interceptions.
You know he doesn't have a ground game to bail him out.
Nope.
All right, is that your recap on the Colts at Eagles?
Yeah.
All right, moving on to our next game. Now we got Green Bay visiting Washington. Packers at Redskins. Redskins looked pretty good in week 1 against a pretty terrible Arizona Cardinals team. Then they were at home versus the Colts, and the Colts torched them 21-7 and made them look like garbage. And we just talked about the Colts. Really not that great of a team, but they made the Redskins look bad. So this is what we got going into this game. You're going to start Chris Thompson because he even had a good game against the Colts, and I think they're going to be playing from behind. And what happens when you play from behind? You pass a lot. Adrian Peterson ain't going to catch him, but Chris Thompson will. You're going to start Jordan Reed because he's probably your tight end 1. And newsflash, Alex Smith doesn't throw to wide receivers. He throws to running backs and tight ends. So there you go. That's who you're starting. They win.
Sam Darnold just threw an interception. I cannot believe it. The Cleveland Browns are going to win a football game.
Open the Bud Light fridge.
Oh.
Free Bud Light for everyone.
Oh, gross.
Sorry, I know.
Cleveland might as well just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, it is their
I'm
Super
pretty
Bowl.
sure they're canceling work tomorrow.
So
in Cleveland.
now Hugh Jackson will have 2 more NFL wins.
Hold on. They can screw this up still.
They just Cleveland Browns. I can
It
definitely
is
say.
Cleveland. All right, sorry. I just so surprised.
No, I know. I saw you guys, your reactions. I'm like, all right, it's definitely not because of my game analysis.
Well, your game analysis was...
I was so surprised by your analysis.
Yeah, no, well, you were not. Adrian Peterson, not a huge fan of his startability this week, especially since I do think they're going to be playing from behind with the Packers. And Alex Smith, I think he'll be a good streaming option at QB, especially if they're playing from behind. What's up?
No, I just don't think so. I think there's way better options this week.
For streaming a quarterback?
Yes.
Give me 2.
2?
Sure.
2 streamers you can stream? Blake Bortles. Jared Goff.
Andy Dalton.
Okay, Jared Goff's probably owned.
Ryan Fitzmagic.
You eventually have to get somebody who's not owned. I named 5 people, so.
Okay, Fitzpatrick is probably owned by now. Goff is owned by now.
Goff
who's
just
Bortles
got dropped
playing?
in our league. In our 12 team.
Bortles playing the Titans? Yeah, I would probably start Bortles over Alex Smith. And I would definitely start Andy Dalton over both of those guys.
Case Keenum.
All right, moving on. I'm not going to wait for you to name all the quarterbacks in the NFL.
I wouldn't start Case.
All right, Packers. Here we go. Aaron Jones is back. Stafford's owned. Aaron Jones is back. Rodgers is questionable, but he'll play. They really should be 2-0. It was kind of a BS call on Clay Matthews for roughing the passer on Kirk Cousins, which really wasn't roughing the passer. You see that play 9 out of 10 times, not going to be a roughing the passer. But the Packers are coming into this game 1-1. Sorry, 1-0-1. Who are you going to start from this game?
Undefeated.
They are undefeated.
That's what I was going to say.
Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, start. Randall Cobb, Geronimo Allison.
Geronimo!
Decent flex options. You're obviously going to start Jimmy Graham. Aaron Jones. This is kind of the question mark surrounding this game. Do you start Aaron Jones because, like Brad said early in the week, he's not a great pass blocker, and Aaron Rodgers is hurt, and he's still kind of nursing that injury. He's clearly not on full health. So do you play Aaron Rodgers this week, Brad?
Duh.
Aaron Rodgers?
Sorry, Aaron Jones.
Oh, Aaron Jones?
No.
This week? No. Do I want to
Is it because of the pass blocking?
Do I want to start him this week? Yes, I want to. He is the best running back they have there.
Bingo.
But
Agreed.
we talked about it. Pass blocking is the worst. And it's an unmobile Aaron Rodgers.
Unmobile.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you mean immobile?
That's going to be tough for those Aaron Jones owners out fan because they've been waiting. And I know it's only been a 2-week suspension, but they're pretty excited about this week to get him back. And Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, those Mark Ingram owners are like, yeah, okay, man.
Well, if you're 2-0,
Yeah, I'm one of them too. So I know.
If you're 2-0, it's not really a big deal. You can wait.
I wouldn't want to start him. I'd wait till next week when the buys kick off. That's when I'd probably have to start him. This week with no buys, you probably have better options. You went this long without starting him. If you are a Joe Mixon owner, like I am in one league, and you maybe have to start him, okay, go for it.
All right, good takes. Josh, you ready for your next team?
All right, Broncos, Ravens. So we'll start out with our quarterbacks first. Don't start either one of them. Don't start Case Keenum or Joe Flacco.
It's weird because I just heard I'd rather start Case Keenum than Alex Smith.
Hey, that was Brad said.
Hold on. Sorry, I got to stop this. Cleveland's winning the game. There's 1:11 left. Guess who calls a timeout?
Cleveland.
Cleveland did.
Yep.
So they're getting ready to punt the ball
No way.
Yep.
with 1:05 on the clock.
Cleveland.
And the Jets still have a timeout.
Cleveland.
And it's 21-17.
Yeah.
Yeah. They might even go for a long field goal, which, cross your fingers, Cleveland.
What, Cleveland might go for one?
Yeah.
Not with that kicker.
They're on the 34-yard line.
Okay.
But let's get back to the analysis. Sorry.
All right.
Right.
No, this is a new kicker. He actually made all of his extra points tonight. So anyway, like I said, I'm not going to start either one of the quarterbacks. I don't like Case Keenum's matchup this week. Next, going on to the running backs. So your starters, Phillip Lindsay, Royce Freeman, and then you got Alex Collins and Javorius Allen. So on the Broncos side of the ball, Phillip Lindsay is the man.
He's the hot hand
He's
Right now.
He's the man with the hot hand.
right now.
Don't ever argue with me again. All right, next, Alex
It's not
Collins.
going to be fun episodes, but all right.
Alex Collins and Javorius Allen. I am so hesitant to start Alex Collins. And the reason I'll tell you why is it's very apparent to me that Harbaugh, he ain't faithful. He ain't loyal. Okay?
False. They said they want to work him into more of the offense.
Yeah, well, what are we talking about? Hugh Jackson said that he was going to get Duke Johnson the ball more, and he's got, 5 fantasy points tonight or something?
Yeah, but that's Hugh Jackson. We're talking about a real NFL coach.
Okay, well, yeah, well, all of them lie.
You guys forget one is more. One is more. When David Johnson's in the slot one time this week, that's more times.
That's a fact.
There you go.
Coaches lie. I'm so hesitant. Now, I do feel better about Buck Allen than Alex Collins. And the reason is because he's going to be utilized in the passing game. He was last week. In PPR, he had 15.2 fantasy points, 15.4, excuse me. And that's a pretty good week for a flex play. Obviously, he's not going to be your RB1 or your RB2. But if you have no other options, I like Buck Allen. Buck Allen and Phillips Lindsay. Alex Collins and Royce Freeman, bench them. They're going to be bums this week. Yeah, I said it. You can look at me however you want. I don't care. Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas. What are you going to do with those guys? Well, you're going to start Emmanuel Sanders. And Demaryius Thomas, I'm saying he's going to have a nice little bounce-back game this week. Nice little bounce-back game. Even though he dropped a lot of passes last week, Demaryius will be better. Stay away from Cortland Sutton and Mr. Butt, Jake Butt. Broncos DST. Oh, you know I'm starting that Broncos DST. I'm starting him. Fire him up. Fire him up big time. All right. John Brown, Michael Crabtree, Willie Snead. John Brown is a man there. I think we can agree. He doesn't have a lot of PPR value is because he doesn't catch a lot of passes, but he catches those deep ones. Last week he had 92 yards and a touchdown, 4 catches. John Brown is the guy that you want to start out of this Ravens wide receiver group.
Not Crabtree?
No, Crabtree's not. And I imagine with Crabtree, they're going to do what they can to shut him down. They know that he's a tight end threat, and they're pretty familiar with him. I mean, he was in their division last year.
Yeah, but they can't stop him. They got rid of the Crabtree stopper.
Akib?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he gave him thrown out.
Well, Bradley Roby will go over there and snatch his chain, too. Who cares?
He tapes it down. You got to get in there deep.
That's about it. I'm not interested in any of the tight ends, Mark Andrews or Nick Boyle. And I'm
You mean the 7 tight ends in Baltimore?
Well, I mean, one of them's going to be hot. And then I'm not also interested in the Ravens DST. I don't like them as much this week. They had a bad week last week. I think the Broncos DST is going to be a much better option.
So would you guys like to create a wheel that we can spin on the show to see which Baltimore tight end we want to play this week?
I mean, it seems like a good option.
I mean, it seems like the best that we got.
It seems like something Baltimore actually does, too.
What about these defenses, Josh? These are two pretty...
I just said which defense I felt like I liked.
Would you start the Ravens, though?
No. I just said that. I literally just said that.
I know, but you're not going to start them at all.
No, I just...
So
Pat, did you hear what I said?
I did. That's why it's funny.
All right. The Rams have the Chargers this week. Not a great matchup. The Bears are owned.
How is the Rams and the Chargers not a great matchup? I think the Rams are going to be great.
Against the Chargers?
Yeah.
This is the best quarterback the Rams have played against. They've looked great, yes, but they played against some subpar quarterback play the first 2 weeks.
To say the least.
Yeah. Derek Carr's the best quarterback they've won against, and let's be honest.
Okay. Well, disagree.
I just don't know if there's a lot of options out there for people for defenses this week.
Exactly. I think the Ravens aren't a bad option at all.
Well, you'd both be wrong. So
Okay.
Next game, Brad, let's hear your crappy game.
It is pretty bad.
It's not that bad.
It's not that good.
So we got the Tennessee Titans, right?
Yeah.
Marcus Mariota still can't feel the ball when he holds it. So that's really good.
That's probably
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
So I'm not sure if Marcus Mariota is going to play. And even though Marcus Mariota, we can say what we don't like about him, the one thing he does is he targets the crap load of Corey Davis.
crap load.
The crap load of him.
Sam Darnold just threw another interception. This game is over, ladies and gentlemen.
No, Hugh Jackson said I can do this. Don't worry. Hold my beer.
No, that's Pat's MVP.
I called it. Against all odds.
Let's.
So stupid.
So Titans, I'm starting.
An accident.
I'm starting no Titans this week against the Jacksonville defense.
What?
I'm not starting a single Titan this week. Who do you think? Who do you want? Deion Lewis? Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I'm starting. PPR.
That is the only one you would think about starting. But even then, not doing it. This Jacksonville defense is no joke.
In PPR, I'm starting him.
Ooh, I've flexed him.
Yeah, flex.
Would you say he's
Well,
flexy and you know it?
Yeah, he's flexing. I mean, when you're RB1 and RB2 are Melvin Gordon and Christian McCaffrey, you can afford to flex Deion Lewis. So, no big deal.
Okay. But
So, that's what I'm doing.
then you go to the other side of the ball and you got Jacksonville. You can start Bortles this week. Great streaming option.
Oof. You right?
Keelan Cole. I mean, we saw he can catch whatever Bortles crappy throw he throws up there. It's a fact. If you didn't see it, go to the YouTube. Check it out. Just put Keelan Cole. It'll pop up.
Keep going.
Okay. Sorry. You give me a weird look.
Because it was against Patriots.
It was.
I'm upset.
Oh, sorry. I forgot.
They are going to riot in Cleveland tonight.
Yes, that's a fact. What about D.D. Westbrook and Dante Moncrief?
So
Dante Moncrief got kind of shut down last week a little bit by Stephen Gilmore.
Yeah, but you can probably flex either one of them if you have, because you probably don't have both of them on your team. If you want to start Moncrief and he's your best option, you can go with him. The
But
Titans.
you like Cole the best.
I like Keelan Cole the best, but he is going to pull the best corner for the Titans. They do have one good corner.
Not necessarily. Moncrief pulled Gilmore for the Patriots.
Yeah, and then now Keelan Cole made a highlight, and everybody's going to be like, whoop, not letting that happen again.
Yeah, that's true. What about ASJ?
So that was going to be my next thing. Tight end streamer of the week, ASJ. He got his touchdown last week. He's not almost Severian Jenkins anymore. He's always Severian Jenkins.
Ooh, that's a good one. Thought about that one long and hard, didn't you?
Breaking news.
And then Leonard Fournette. Hopefully Leonard Fournette's back. You can fire Leonard Fournette up in this game. If he's not, Corey Grant's not a bad flex either. And that is the right Corey, correct, Josh?
Yes, that would be Corey Grant from
Corey
Auburn.
Grant,
From Auburn University.
running back, PPR format. I think you can flex him. He's a little flexy, and he knows it.
So you're firing up a lot of Jaguars. You're kind of avoiding the Titans. I take it that's because of that Jaguars defense.
That Jaguars defense is just, it's no joke. I mean, we saw what it made Tom Brady look like last week. It made him look like a normal quarterback.
200 plus yards, 2 touchdowns,
A normal quarterback.
no interceptions.
A normal quarterback.
Old normal quarterbacks, Ryan Tannehill throws a bunch of picks every game.
Exactly. But I'm saying he looked like he didn't look like a top 3 quarterback that you drafted in fantasy. So what are they going to do to good old Blaine Gabbert out there?
Oh, Blaine Gabbert's kind of looked like he's a Pop Warner quarterback.
Yeah. So if you're playing against somebody that has Jaguars defense, good luck.
It's kind of like the Minnesota defense. If you're playing against them, good luck.
Yep.
All right, my next game. Are you done with yours?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, my next game is Giants at Texans. Not too much I want to get into here. I'll go with the injuries first. Evan Ingram's questionable, as is Will Fuller, DeAndre Hopkins, and Kiki Kunter, which is pretty much all the Texans wide receivers. I expect all of them to start and be on the field come Sunday. Here's who you want to start from the Giants side. You're obviously going to start Saquon Barkley, Odell Beckham, and Evan Ingram. That's pretty much it, though. That's who I want to start. Maybe you can throw a streaming option in there at Sterling Shepard. But there's better flex options out there than Sterling Shepard, as we've pretty much already covered them. Like even Dante Moncrief. I'd feel more comfortable about streaming him than I would about Sterling Shepard. You streaming Eli Manning? Brad, Josh?
No.
Not against that Texans D?
No.
Not against any D.
I will
Not against any D?
I'll play D-Watt, though. Love D-Watt.
And that's where I'm getting to next is those Texan starters is obviously Deshaun Watson, Lamar Miller, DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller. You got 3 and 4 from this. 3 on the Giants side, 4 starters on the Texans side. Don't worry about that injury report now. They're going to come back to full health. Just a little precaution early in the season. You don't want to get your big stars hurt.
Ooh.
And I think Deshaun Watson's going to have a pretty good game.
Bingo.
I see the Texans coming out on top on this one.
So I have a question for you because the Giants secondary hasn't looked completely terrible this season so far. They've actually looked pretty decent, a little better than I thought they would. Which Texans wide receiver is going to have the highest score this week? Will Fuller, Hopkins?
Hopkins.
Fuller.
I think it might be Fuller too because I think Hopkins is going to draw a lot of the coverage.
Don't be stupid.
Nope, he's going to draw the coverage, and he's probably going to get safety help from over the top, which is going to free up Fuller a little bit. You can't have
Pounding the table over here.
Don't be stupid. It's Nuke.
You're going to start Nuke. We're just saying who's going to have the better week.
Yeah, it's going to be Nuke.
Okay, I guess we'll see.
Will Fuller just caught the most passes in a game that he's ever caught in his life.
Was it last week?
That was 8.
Who was the higher scoring wide receiver last week?
Yeah, it was last week. It was Will Fuller. The 5th.
Yeah.
He caught 8 passes on accident.
Deshaun Watson's starting to learn how to read defenses and go through his progressions.
Well, right now, Hugh Jackson's a better coach than Mike Tomlin. So the NFL's flipped upside down. Don't worry. It's going to work itself out, guys. It's going to work itself out.
And this is fired up with Josh.
He's very fired up.
I mean, come on. Am I serious? Are we seriously having this conversation?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Whatever. Keep going. I'm done.
Well, you shouldn't be because you're up next, and that's all I got from this game.
No, I'm done. All right.
Go ahead. Fire every next game.
Did you say you're starting the Texans defense? Would you?
Against the Giants?
Yes.
Yeah, I would start the Texas defense.
Okay, because, the Giants have no offensive line.
I think this.
No, it's pretty bad.
I think Clowney and Watt are going to have a field day over there.
If Clowney plays.
Who cares?
He's also on the injury report.
He can't have a big day if he doesn't play.
No, he'll have a great day. Even on the bench. He'll eat ice cream, and he'll have a great day.
What's your next game, Josh?
Next game is Bears at Cardinals. Well, this is going to be pretty easy because the Cardinals, there's only one of them that you're going to start. Only one.
Sam Bradford?
No, you're going to start David
Larry
Johnson.
Fitzgerald?
No, you're going to start David
Christian
Johnson.
Kirk.
David Johnson, and you're not going to feel good about it.
Chase Edmonds.
The reason you're going to start David Johnson is because the potential is there. Larry Fitzgerald has a hamstring injury, and we don't like soft tissues injuries, okay? He's probably going to go out there, and he's going to play, but guess what? Sam Bradford can't hit the broad side of a barn right now.
Can I take you back to that David Johnson thing? If Jay Ajayi doesn't play, would you play Corey Clement over David Johnson this week?
Yes. 100%.
Just wanted to hear it come out of your mouth.
That's fine. Do you agree?
I do actually somewhat agree with that.
The problem
It's just
is
kind of hard to hear.
the problem isn't David Johnson. David Johnson, we know the talent is there. We know how great David Johnson is. The problem is Mike McCoy.
There we go.
That is 1,000% the problem, Mike McCoy. He has ruined team after team. Me and Brad both saw him affect our franchises in negative ways, and it hurts. But now, Arizona, it's your turn. Have fun with it. David Johnson is the only one that you're going to start. Like I said, you're not going to feel good about it. I'm not going to start anyone else, including Larry Fitzgerald. And the reason I'm not going to start Larry Fitzgerald is because Sam Bradford's been atrocious and because of that hamstring injury. On the Bears side
Time
of the
for
ball,
Josh Rosen.
Do what?
Time for Josh Rosen.
This could be his week to get hurt.
You guys want to go 2 for 2?
Oh, I don't like.
I
don't like predicting injuries, but
Well,
Khalil
we
Mack
already-
started taking out one quarterback.
Well, we already called the Baker Mayfield thing.
I'm no Miss Cleo. That's you.
Okay.
Don't worry, Tyler Taylor's going to be back next week.
The problem is that Sam Bradford is going against the Bears defense. They're really good. And they have a guy named Khalil Mack who's MVP caliber good. I mean, it's like why would you ever trade a guy that good? Oh, it's because you don't want to pay him because you're stupid. Okay,
Because
great.
you want to have the oldest team in the league.
Yeah, Khalil Mack was clearly too young for that. So.
They got a lot of draft picks. So
Yeah, well, can't really use them this year right now while they're 0-2.
they're rebuilding.
Well, the Bears are 1-1, so they're better. If so facto. Boom, boom. All right. Mitchell Trubisky. I actually like Mitchell Trubisky a lot this week.
Gross.
Well, say what you want to, but the Cardinals are bad. They're real bad.
I like Patrick Peterson this week.
Brad, you're over there shaking your head like your child. I see shades of Connor just. He looks exactly like his son. Well, his son looks.
We
exactly
saw
like
Mitchell Trubisky last week against a so-so defense, just air-mailing some passes, and Patrick Peterson will take those to the house.
Well, Shaquille Griffin.
Mitchell Trubisky doesn't tip off defenses where he's going to throw the ball. He telegraphs it with his eyes.
I mean, he still completed a bunch of passes to Allen Robinson last
He
week.
sends a pigeon over to the defensive coordinator with the play.
What ifs? All right. So anyway, Jordan Howard, start him. Jordan Howard's going to have a great game this week. I think he's going to have a better game than Tariq Cohen. Tariq Cohen has a little bit of an ankle injury. I think it's going to be nagging him. They're going to get Jordan Howard involved. As far as your receivers go, Allen Robinson, Anthony Miller, and
Taylor Gabriel?
Taylor Gabriel.
You're starting all of them?
No.
Okay.
I want to throw Taylor Gabriel in the trash heap.
Sorry, I was confused.
I'm not going to start Anthony Miller. I love Allen Robinson this week. I understand he's playing against Patrick Peterson, but guess what? Mitchell Trubisky doesn't know who to throw the ball to.
Well, the one good thing for Allen Robinson is that Patrick Peterson isn't shadowing this year. He's trying to stay to one side of the field.
Oh, so Arizona clearly doesn't want to win any games.
Yeah.
All right, so
They're trying something new.
trying something new. Let's see if we can go 0-16. That's great. All right, so obviously, like I said, I love Allen Robinson, and I actually think the Bears defense, obviously you're going to start them. Outside of Minnesota, I think they're going to be the number 2 defense this week. They're playing Arizona. Arizona might actually be worse than Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm going to say Jacksonville's going to be up there playing against Blaine Gabbert.
Well, the only reason that I think – no, actually Tennessee's not that bad. I think Minnesota are
Blaine Yeah, Bert.
Well, they're 1-1.
Or Marcus Mariota, who can't feel the football when he holds it.
Look, Buffalo and Arizona are bad. Arizona's like historically bad.
Oh, I agree.
They have like less than 200 yards offensively per game.
I think we're talking about the top 3 defenses here, so you're starting all of them.
But something we've seen with the Bears is that Khalil Mack at the fourth quarter has been pretty gassed in both the games so far. He did not have a preseason, so he is still getting conditioning under.
The good news is that he won't be having to play in the fourth quarter in this game.
Exactly. Nobody will, so I think that might hurt the Bears a little bit.
No, I think they're going to be fine. And honestly, Trey Burton, I'm starting him.
Of course you are.
I'm always starting Trey Burton.
Doesn't concern you. They have not used him conventionally as a tight end in this offense yet.
Actually, they have. And he's run just as many routes as Travis Kelce. The problem is that Mitchell Trubisky's not a good quarterback. He doesn't feel confident. Sorry, it's true. He's average at best.
Didn't you just say fire him up?
I did say fire him up.
Okay. Just
this week against the Cardinals, who are awful. I'm saying he's going to be a great streaming option this week. And honestly, I love Allen Robinson. I think Allen Robinson is going to be the pick that you're going to say you were surprised about after the game's over with. But Trey Burton, they are using him conventionally. He's running routes on 88% of the offensive snaps.
he lined up as a quarterback. He caught a shovel pass off a fake to Jordan Howard for a touchdown.
Which means they want to get him the ball.
It's not.
He's a playmaker that they want to get involved in the offense.
Yeah, they also want to get the playmaker Tariq Cohen and Taylor Gabriel the ball, so they're not using them conventionally.
Say what you want to, potato, tomato. I love him. You're not going to change my mind. And whenever he scores another touchdown this week, I'll be right and I'll shove it down your throat.
Shoving stuff down your throat with Josh.
I think that wraps up the Cardinals and Bears game. Now we can move on to Brad's next game, which is going to be your hometown team.
The Battle of L.A.
We're on
That's
to
right.
LA.
It's the Battle to L.A. of L.A.
Battle to LA.
Is this Escape from LA?
Yeah, Escape from L.A., Battlefield L.A. I mean, there's so many L.A. movies we got, right? We got the Chargers at the Rams. I mean, whatever. I guess one team has to be called home, right? Chargers. Phillip Rivers, I'm still starting him this week. He's looked amazing these first 2 weeks. I know the Rams have a really, really, really good defense, but like we said earlier, they haven't played a good quarterback.
Yeah, against who?
Yeah. Now, the problem is going to be with Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon's rushing numbers have not looked great at all. He's been saving you with touchdowns and receiving. With that being said, the Rams have a couple big guys in the middle. I don't know if you ever heard of them, Ndamukong Suh, Aaron Donald.
They're pretty good.
They're pretty good. So Melvin Gordon, again, it's going to be a rough day on the ground. He's going to save it with the passing work. They're going to find ways to get him out in space. They're going to do what Arizona's not doing with David Johnson, and they're going to find ways to get him the ball.
Playmaker. Playmaker.
Another big question. Austin Eckler, right? 2 great games, first 2 weeks of the season. I think he's going to come back to earth this week against this defense. I think they're going to scheme for him. I think they're going to be ready for him when he's in the backfield. Tight ends in the Chargers. I don't like any tight end in the Chargers. I don't like Gates. I don't like Virgil Green.
No.
And then the receivers. Keenan Allen, you got to start him. I'm starting him anyway. The problem comes down to the number 2 guys, Tyrell Williams and Mike Williams. Maybe start Mike Williams. Tyrell Williams I'm staying away from because he's going to have either Talib or Peters on him, and I don't see him winning those matchups. Now, Mike Williams might be able to get in the slot, and he could probably get open, but they move Keenan Allen around enough where he can probably make some plays and get a better matchup on him.
It's also Keenan Allen. He has the skill to beat good cornerbacks.
He does have the skill to beat them, and they also do what Arizona doesn't do, and they put him in positions to win the battle.
Phillip Rivers ain't scared. He's too old to be scared.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers will probably grab Aaron Donald by the face mask at least once.
Yeah, he ain't scared, dude.
He's got 9 kids. You know how scary that is?
Dude, yeah, he ain't slept in 15 years. Phillip Rivers don't care.
All right, let's get over to the Rams side of the ball. Jared Goff, streaming court.
Start him.
You can start him this week. Chargers have a good defense, but you can still start him. We've seen other quarterbacks have decent games against the Chargers this week, and I do think this is going to be a higher scoring game. The over-unders at 48.5.
It's a great table runner.
Yeah, they're talking about the tablecloth. Sorry.
It's a runner, Brett.
Whatever. It's on the table, and it's made of cloth.
What about these receivers? Because there's a lot of them in the Rams for the Rams offense.
Well, Brandon Cooks has been the number one all year.
So you're starting him, just like you're starting Gurley.
And I'm starting Cooper Kupp, and I'm staying away from Robert Woods. Why? I just don't like Robert Woods. Fact.
Just personal bias, or
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I think if you're going to start two of them, it's going to be those two. If you have to start Robert Woods and you have to flex him, you can. But I think there's way better flex options out there.
What about Higbee? Tight end.
Stop.
Spelunking.
They got him targets because the game was out of hand, and they were like, "Let's see if this play works." I think McVay was like, "Hey, I always wanted to try this."
Is he on our team?
And he's like, "Hey, you know that play where you run down the field and look lost? Yeah, that one, varsity blue style." Surprised they didn't try the hook and ladder at least once. Okay, Todd Gurley, duh, no questions about it. Rams defense is going to be the big question right here. You can still start them, but they are not going to be doing what they've done these last 2 weeks, where they're winning you weeks.
The thing with that is whoever has the Rams defense probably drafted him, so they're probably going to start him.
As I'm saying, you probably have to start them, and you can start them. I think they're going to get to Rivers a few times, get a couple sacks. They may even pick him off a couple times. But
because in the draft room, there's like three defenses really that you kind of pick as set and forget. And that's Jacksonville, Minnesota, and the LA Rams for this year. Chicago is kind of becoming now a set and forget defense. So,
yeah, I agree completely with that. You think you guys want to add to this game? Anybody I probably missed? Travis Benjamin?
Gross.
Excited to see Gurley play a full game for once.
Maybe a full game. We don't know. Maybe he'll cramp up again.
Is it cramp up or is it just?
Well, it was, hey, I got cramps or I have to pee.
Tired of winning.
Just don't worry about coming back in.
So so far, I just want to say, if you drafted Gurley out of those top four running backs, you were right.
Well, you probably had the first pick too.
Oh, one last thing about the Rams defense. It's a Wade Phillips defense. Rivers has done well against Wade Phillips defenses in the past.
Ooh.
Against the Broncos.
That's interesting.
It's a good little nugget.
That is a good little nugget. Now, just to be clear, in our podcast league, we didn't have the first pick. We had the second. The people who drafted before us got David Johnson. We got Gurley.
Yeah, but they're dope.
Ba-boom.
All right, we're moving on to you, Pat?
Oh, we're moving on.
Right.
They still have a good team.
Savior Patriots.
I wish you guys could have seen him dancing out there. It was pretty fun.
Oh, I am
was very excited.
so excited for this game.
He actually just looked up into the heavens, and then he dumped.
Are we going to talk about that
water on his
first? I think that's the biggest question everybody has about the Patriots, right there.
Well, it's Sunday Night Football, so Carrie Underwood's going to be playing. I know you always like to bring that up.
Yeah.
Patriots at Lions. Is Gordon going to be playing? If he is healthy, if he is capable, he's going to be playing. You talked about it earlier in the week, Brad. He has a reason to show up and play now, because now he has a quarterback. Who was his other quarterback that he had when he had a last really productive year?
Jason Campbell.
Jason Campbell.
Love him.
Ugh.
No.
Ugh.
Love him.
He's an Auburn alum, which means
He wasn't a bad quarterback.
He didn't graduate from Auburn, probably. He probably went to a couple classes.
He graduated, and he was a first-round pick.
Agree to disagree, he is no Tom Brady. Josh Gordon now has Tom Brady.
I agree.
Josh Gordon's now on a winning football team, something he's never been on as an NFL wide receiver. He's going to play this week. Fire him up. Put him in your wide receiver spot. Put him in your flex. Find a spot for him. And if you're in a league that was dumb enough to drop him, go ahead and pick him up. Because he's going to be a staple in this offense. Even when Edelman comes back, we kind of talked about earlier this week about who's going to get hurt and whatnot and what Josh Gordon's role is. He's not a Randy Moss, but he's not an Ocho Cinco. And you fantasy owners that drafted him kind of as a risk when he was in Cleveland, that risk is now paying off because now he's on a team that likes to win and a quarterback who likes to win and throw to his receivers. Moving on, Gronk and Gordon are questionable for this week. I expect both of them to start. Here's your starters. You're pretty much starting just about all of the offensive players for both teams because I don't think either of these defenses are very good. Patriots defenses historically start very slow in September. We've seen that. They did decent against Houston in week 1. They did terrible in week 2 against Jacksonville. Lions, we already saw what they did in week 1 against the Jets. Sam Darnold. I understand the Jets defense had a lot to do with that win too. But the Jets defense is better than the Patriots defense. Stay away from the defenses. They are. I know it's hard to fathom that, but bust a screen is the difference maker over there. There's not going to be an episode where I don't mention bust a screen. Get used to it. You're starting Brady. You're starting Gronk. James White's still a good flex option, as is Burkhead's probably going to be one of your running backs. Sony Michel is kind of on the questionable side. He did get the most rushes last week, but Burkhead and White are still there. I think Burkhead's going to be returning to full health. White is still going to be kind of a safety valve for Tom Brady, a check down, and even a slot guy. And then you got Josh Gordon and Chris Hogan. Those are your Patriots starters. And now for the Lions, you got Matt Stafford, you got Theo Riddick, Kerryon Johnson. We see him getting more and more of the carries. Golden Tate and Kenny Golladay. As you mentioned, Josh, about Kenny Golladay, he's kind of taking over Marvin Jones, and now he's kind of becoming that number 2. And the numbers definitely don't lie there. Golden Tate's still number 1. Don't sleep on LeGarrette Blount this week. He's facing his old team. He loves going up against old teams and showing them why they should have kept him. That is it for my Sunday Night Football recap. What do you got to add, Brad?
Are you nervous at all about Burkhead's injuries or anything? Because we saw him start the game.
No, I think he's back to... Well, yeah, you're right. He did start the game, and then he kind of...
disappeared.
Right. And I think that's because he wasn't really back to full health, and he didn't want to push it, and it's early in the season. They don't need to push it, but I do think he's back to full health. And
they did use a first-round pick on Sony Michel. And the Patriots usually use their first-round picks on players they are going to use during the season. They usually don't waste first-round picks. They don't waste draft picks at all, usually.
Correct. I still like Burkhead and White over Michel at this point in the season.
Michel.
Okay.
The Sony PlayStation. All right.
Can I get another?
No, you want to... Let it breathe. Let it breathe.
The same every one of us. All right, in the next game, Josh.
Hold on. Where's his locker at? Where's Flash's locker?
Oh, you know it's next to Tom Brady's.
Okay, let's just calm down. Let's just...
No.
You got it. Okay, you had the Trey Burton hype rolling all off season. Somebody else can do some hype rolling over here, okay?
Which I was right. No, not yet.
Remains to be seen.
Okay. Next game, Cowboys Seahawks. Cowboys side's pretty easy. You start 2 people here. The Cowboys defense. Yeah, I'm saying it. You know why? Because that offensive line for Seattle is atrocious. DeMarcus Lawrence is exactly. Pretty much. And then you're going to start Dak this week? No, I'm not going to start Dak this week. Dak's not a startable NFL quarterback yet. Ezekiel Elliott is the only other person you're going to start in this offense. Cole Beasley, you're not going to touch him. You're not going to touch Tavon Austin. It's the offense is not clicking yet, guys. I understand that they won last week, but they're just not there yet. Even though Seattle might be one of those games you're like, oh, well, this will get us on track. No, sorry. Now, on the other side
Feed Zeke the ball.
Do what?
Feed Zeke the ball.
Yeah, Zeke's hungry. Yeah, that's the dinner bell. He's hungry. He's hungry. Mr. Russell Wilson. You will start Russell Wilson. Duh. Because he's going to be running around for his life. He's going to be getting all them yards.
He is the offense in Seattle.
He's the only. Yeah, absolutely. They have no clue what they're doing without him. Now, what do you do with the running backs? Rashard Penny, Chris Carson. I don't want to start either one of them. And the reason I don't want to start either one of them is because Pete Carroll doesn't want to start either one of them.
I think it's clear they want to feed Rashard Penny more, but they still kind of trust Carson more.
They trust Carson is clearly the better NFL running back right now. It's almost like Pete Carroll's like, well, we drafted Rashard Penny, so he came in out of shape. You know he gained like 25 pounds?
Of muscle?
No, of fat.
Of weight.
Yeah, well, weight is still fat. All right. So I don't want to start either one of them.
Did you guys see the video though of right before Russell threw the pick six? So Russell Wilson is running a hurry-up offense.
And they called a timeout.
2 little plays. He gets up to the line of scrimmage. He's getting ready to hike the ball again. There's 11 seconds on the play clock. Plenty of time to get the play all figured out and everything. Pete Carroll calls a timeout. Says they weren't in the right formation.
Because he was
Russell Wilson was mad.
He was tired of Russell checking the plays because they're calling bad plays.
But they weren't. They were actually finally moving the plays. And Russell Wilson was, he was checking and actually calling what he's supposed to do as a quarterback.
Russell Wilson knows what he's doing.
He's doing what he's supposed to do as a quarterback and put him in the right position to win.
Yeah. Well, he's trying to win, but they're not giving him a lot of help.
I can't wait till next week when Russell Wilson just goes out there, calls 3 timeouts in a row and laughs at the sideline.
There's no playmaker.
No, I would love to see that.
There's genuinely no playmakers. Tyler Lockett is the closest thing you have to a playmaker, and I don't even feel comfortable starting him.
Will Disley
is not a playmaker.
Will Disley.
He got a garbage time touchdown that saved you last week, but he dropped a lot of passes. Will Disley's doo-doo.
You're doo-doo.
Do you like Jake Butt better?
No, I like Disley better than I like Jake Butt.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know. But it was...
But you're starting neither one of them.
I'm not starting either one, no.
Exactly. Because you got Trey Burton.
Yeah, I got Trey Burton. Why would I want to start one of these?
Is that your recap of that game?
Yeah, and the Seahawks defense, I don't really feel good about starting them either, to be honest with you. I think that they are going to finally feed Zeke. The Seahawks defense, they're not really going to
They were pretty banged up last week, and I don't think they got any healthier this week.
You all know who the number 1 tight end in fantasy is right now, right?
Yeah, I understand. It's Will Disley. I got it.
With Jesse James, but whatever.
No one cares. Flukes happen. It's 2 weeks in. Let's calm down. Let's just
Will Disley.
Okay, well, on to the next game. On to Cincinnati.
If we start talking about him in our week 3 recap.
Okay, so here's the deal. If he ends up being a top 5 tight end next week, I'll start saying that you can start him.
So, Pat, are you saying the show has a little magic?
Oh, my God.
Oh, absolutely.
Has a little magic?
It's a little pizzazz.
Let's get into the magic man himself here.
Oh, yeah.
With the Steelers at the Buccaneers.
I love it.
And we'll just start right off with Ryan Fitzmagic. You start him this week, and then you sell him this week. Because they have a schedule coming up that is not what he's had the last couple weeks.
What's their schedule? Upcoming.
I mean, they're going to make me look it up. I don't know that already. But
oh, okay. Sorry.
But
well, I know they're facing the Steelers this week, and I know what Mahomes did to
defense is
them.
not looking good. And then they get the Bears, which you've talked about that.
Ooh.
Falcons haven't been a pushover. Browns have been competitive in all their games.
Yes.
And it's at Bears and at Falcons, too, which isn't the greatest, right? They're home against the Browns, and they're at the Bengals, Carolina, and Jameis is back as well. We can say what we want about Jameis doesn't get that job, but they did draft Jameis. They kept Dirk Cutter around because of Jameis.
No.
They're probably going to eventually go back to Jameis at some point in this season. So you start Fitzmagic, you win the week with Fitzmagic, and then you say bye-bye to Fitzmagic.
It's a magic scout.
Because you sell him from RB3. I don't care. You just sell him.
Believeland.
All right. Believeland.
I'm just watching these videos. It's so crazy to me. Like they're seriously celebrating like they just won this. There's champagne popping in Cleveland right now.
It's their first win.
All right. And since you want to...
It's crazy.
Auburn, you want to bring up Auburn people earlier with Jason Campbell? Peyton Barber, you starting him?
No.
Heck no, you're not starting him.
No.
What's he got, like 28 yards on the season?
Look, you got to be realistic here, guys.
Maybe it's not Ronald Jones' fault. Maybe that team just can't run block.
Yep.
We ever thought about that?
No, I completely agree. And why would you need to when you got Fitzmagic throwing for 400 yards a game?
D-Jax.
Love him this week.
I don't. If Joe Hayden plays, I don't love him.
Love him. Joe Hayden's not a good cornerback. Why do people think that Joe Hayden's a good cornerback just because he got drafted high? He's not a good
by
cornerback.
Cleveland. And you know when you leave Cleveland, you become a good player.
No,
Facts.
That's not true.
Josh Gordon's going to prove it again.
Barcavius Mingo.
Honestly, if you look
Hayden
at
hit. Oh, never mind. Hold on.
Exactly. Thank you. No, that's
Trent
not-
Rich.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, go ahead.
All right. But no, I'm not starting Peyton Barber. Deshaun Jackson, you're probably going to start him this week. I don't really think you should. Mike Evans firing him up. Chris Godwin has popped up in the injury report with an ankle or a foot injury. That kind of does worry me. I do like him better, Deshaun Jackson, for season long. I think he's going to be a more consistent, get more targets. I mean, Deshaun Jackson's averaging 48 yards a catch, it seems like.
Dude, when you are throwing for 400 yards, everybody except for Cameron Brake gets love.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Including, let's go to O.J. Howard.
Yeah.
Stream-worthy tight end. Right there,
Getting
O.J.
some
Howard.
love.
He's only got, you're praying for a touchdown. Same thing with Will Disley. You're praying for a touchdown.
We need a pregame ritual like the beard rubbing. We need that for our show.
Oh, we should. We have to think of it.
Maybe we'll rub our bellies or something.
Ooh, I like it.
It's going to get very crazy up in here.
All right. All right, let's get to the Steelers side. Steelers on the road. So what do we do with Big Ben on the road?
You sit him.
You bench him. He has not scored over 20 points in 2 years in fantasy on the road.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
That's a great stat.
And that might even be in 6. I'm not sure. I know it's for sure in 4 point per touchdown, but it might be 6 point per passing touchdown.
That's a great stat.
It is a great stat. And another thing I want to bring up about the Steelers. So it's been kind of like the days of their lives on there. I'm waiting for Susan Lucci to pop in with everything that's going on with Lev Bell, Antonio Brown.
Who the hell is that?
I don't understand half his references.
Susan Lucci. She's a super famous soap opera actress.
No,
okay. Whatever. Look it up. Daytime Emmy Award. Took her forever to win one. Love you, Susan.
She's the Denzel of soap operas.
So,
why did you just say that?
So if anybody knows who Susan Lucci is, it's going to be the name of this episode.
No one knows who the hell Susan Lucci is.
But I'm just saying, it's been like the days of our lives.
Not anyone that listens to this show.
Rob might know.
All right.
He's not.
Le'Veon Bell has disappeared from the team roster on the website. They just took him off the whole website altogether.
Interesting.
Lev Bell's definitely not going to be back for this game, but he can still show up, right? But he's not going to. James Conner, I think you can start James Conner this week. I think you're going to start him. You've been starting him so far. Keep going, rolling with him. You know, ride the flames with James Conner. Antonio Brown, I'm starting him. Juju, though. Bucks defense is bad, but the problem is it's road Big Ben. I'm not starting Juju this week.
Get him up.
Are you sure her name is Susan DeLucci? Because I just Googled Susan DeLucci.
Not DeLucci, Susan Lucci.
Okay,
No
because
T.
Susan DeLucci was accused of having sex with a lobster.
No, Susan Lucci.
Okay, no, I'm going to re-Google it because I'm really disturbed by you. Okay, go ahead.
Susan Lucci. Facts.
Why not Juju?
It's road Big Ben.
I still like Juju.
And if I'm going to pick one of the receivers, I'm picking Antonio Brown because he's going to get you
Well, of course.
Antonio Brown numbers.
But if you have Antonio Brown, you probably don't have Juju.
I know, but I'm just saying I'm not starting him.
Not
Just
true.
like I don't want to start Deshaun Jackson either.
I feel better about starting Juju than I do Deshaun Jackson. Anyway, who else you got over there? You starting Jesse James? Hot hand?
No. I don't like the Steelers offense. With
That's road Big Ben. He's very against road Big Ben.
No, he doesn't feel good about it.
You know what you could do? If you want to be really crazy, and let's say it's you're going in midway through Sunday and you're doing crappy, whatever defense you got, go start Tampa Bay up and try it. He might throw 5 picks. Big Ben's more likely to throw 5 picks than 3 touchdowns this week.
You know, he's not wrong.
It's a hot take.
It is a hot take.
Yeah. I don't know if it's that hot.
Well, I think that wraps up our Week 3 preview, unless you guys have anything to add to that Steelers-Bucks Monday night football game.
No, things got kind of out of
Ryan
hand.
Fitzmagic.
I disagree. I think this is a great recap. Or
Ryan
preview.
Fitzmagic will be.
On the Russians, crash into the sun. Now I'm dead. Like a boss.
Notice he's going to crash into the sun and burn out, and he's dead.
This is it. This is the last game for Ryan.
Oh, by the
Fitzmagic.
way, who called the fantasy MVP for Thursday night?
I did.
That was Brad. Hugh Jackson won on accident.
He got you 0 points in fantasy. Carlos Hyde got you 23 points.
But he got the win.
All right.
I'm just salty because I benched him.
Everyone good?
Yeah, I think we're good. Thanks again for tuning in for the Week 3 preview of the NFL football season. Hopefully this previews get you ready for Week 3 to win your matchup and thus win your league, because you're listening to the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast with Brad the Dad, Josh the Boss. Follow us on Twitter for all your news, updates, reports, rumors. Have a great week, y'all. We will see you again on Monday morning.
I got to go out like J.R. Smith. Take my shirt off and go drink champagne because Cleveland won a game.
And one more time just for you, Pat.
Savior of the Patriots.
right, see y'all.